Yo, welcome back to the house where we talk news, celebrities, and hot topics. We have my friend here, Zach, the Zactivist. What's going on, Zach?
Hey, Aaron, this is great to be here. It's been a long time coming, and that's just in being here today because it took us a long time to get started.
It did, but you was also 30 minutes late.
I was indeed 30 minutes late, but I also didn't know I was driving to Columbus, Georgia to do this recording. But I'm glad to be here. This is a wonderful, wonderful home. I love, love, love your family, and I love you, and it's just great to be here with you.
The shade. I was 30 minutes late to your podcast or your show. Yeah.
And for your viewers who are watching, I am new to the YouTube space, not to TikTok and Instagram, but please do consider checking me out on 3+1 Media ZK.
3+1 Media. What is that?
It's a whole lot, but 3+1 Media is what used to be a podcast. And I started this podcast. I was a teacher for a long time. Then I left the field. And so one of my former students and I, we were always very close. And she had this dream of being the next Oprah. So I was like, let me help you. We'll start a podcast. And we did. And it was 3+1 the podcast. And we kept it for a while. But unfortunately, we lost her last year. She passed away.
I'm sorry.
She passed away from a brain cancer. And so I'm just continuing it on and keeping it going.
I love that.
To, keep Tadzie out there. So Tadzie Alexandria Hall, a beautiful woman who is like at the heart of 3+1 Media, what's meant to be like a blend of intergenerational voices, a millennial and a zennial together debating issues.
I love that. That is so sweet. Okay, so what can they expect now on there?
Oh, you're gonna get it's always going to be it's people, politics, and pop culture. That's what you get.
Okay.
People, politics, and pop culture. And you know that my number one focus is always the political, always the what's happening in the world and how it affects marginalized communities. I care a great deal about the Black community, the LGBTQIA plus community. But in there, of course, I also talk about pop culture, which I know that your audience loves. And that's why I'm really happy to be here, because I think I have a lot to share in regards to some opinions about things that you talk about. And you talk about it well.
Yes.
Aaron, you're really excellent at what you do. You really are.
Thank you, Zach.
You do a great job. I mean, you got a lot of people out there in the comments.
You do a great job.
No, you do better.
And you're all over TikTok. He's a TikTok star, you guys.
Yeah.
So listen, I'll be trying to pick up like the tidbits about the TikToks from you, because that's where I first saw you.
And you need to do more on TikTok.
I do need to do more on TikTok. TikTok is the wave right now.
It's the wave. YouTube is the foundation. YouTube is never going away. Like YouTube is where you will always be. TikTok might not make it, not because of regulations, but because of the things that they do. And that's something that people aren't really giving voice to, right? Like Instagram killed itself by being too focused on sales and businesses and trying to make money from people. TikTok is unfortunately kind of making that same mistake, and I don't think it's going to last. Whereas YouTube exists and they let content rule. Content always needs to be the focus, not trying to chase behind trends and fads and be something that your app isn't.
What is this stuff about the TikTok shops? That's all I see on TikTok,
and that's
which
what the
is
mistake.
great for business owners, and that's great
but
for people.
not for content consumers.
Right.
And that's going to hurt them. And if you make the mistake of buying one thing from the motherfucking TikTok shop, your ass is going to be bombarded. I bought one really nice Prince tumbler, and I have been receiving tons of views about chamoy pickles.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I would never in my life eat a chamoy pickle.
But I've never shopped. I don't shop on TikTok. I don't even shop on Amazon like that. I like to go to the store.
It's something about you that says you're a buyer.
When I've never bought anything, but that's all that pops up.
And it makes me, I lose interest in the app. So maybe TikTok is watching. I hope they are. Take it back to good
it's
quality
nothing
content.
I would never even buy anyways.
That
like
Prince tumbler was
Instagram
nice.
is like, okay, they use cookies. So it's like, okay, it's a pair of shoes I saw last week or like something similar. I don't mind ads like that because, it's what I want to see. TikTok shop is just random like
chamoy pickles,
puzzles and shit. So politics. Oh my God. I love that you love politics. I want to get into politics more, but I know some people don't like it. Some people do, some people don't like it. They see me as only talking about Portia and Nene and Kandi. So when I talk about Biden and Trump, I always like get these black Republicans like, what's wrong with being a black Republican and what's wrong with Trump? And I'm like, what's wrong with Trump?
They don't deserve your content. I hope you block them immediately.
I didn't block
So when the
them.
black Republicans come into your comments, block them immediately because they don't deserve your content. They don't deserve it. We are at a precipice point in American history. And I would love to live in a country where we could validate and even uplift the voice of black Republicans who are making good points. But we're living in a country where black lives are continuously under assault, where black bodies face cruel and inhumane injustice every single day. And the law is in no way written to protect us, care for us, or even give us justice. So until we get, and we have one party fighting for the rights of minorities in this nation and one party fighting against it, until that comes to an end, there can be no room for anyone who isn't on the side of justice.
All right, so Trump, he has these 3 indictments, which I'm super excited about. Fulton County is next, they say.
It'll
That
be
didn't
the
happen
4th
today?
full indictment. It's a total of I think it's 78 different counts.
Whoa.
So yeah, I think it's 3 indictments, but 74 or 78 different counts. He's facing currently up to, I want to say, it's definitely more than 600 possible years in jail if every single count receives the maximum sentence, which of course that's not going to happen. But it seems as though, our former president's actions will definitely receive some form of consequence.
What is the first one for? Wasn't it like the Stormy Daniels thing?
It was from
the
Alvin
porn star.
Bragg, Attorney General in New York,
Okay.
and
then
using campaign funds to pay hush money to Stormy Daniels.
Okay, the second one was about what?
I don't even remember.
The third one was
No,
about...
I'm sorry. The second one is about the classified documents at
Right.
Mar-a-Lago, and the third one is now the support of the insurrection and all that went into planning for the overthrow of American democracy through a very calculated, concerted effort, which it seems as though allegedly Real Housewives in New York castmate Aaron Lickey was a part of. And that's something that has really angered me, right? So when we look at kind of what you do, when we go into your bag, you have, reality television, and you had this whole entire show, a reboot. A big part of why the last show was kind of taken off, not only were they, like a little dusty. I don't want to be ageist and say old and dusty.
I mean, it wasn't giving Real Housewives.
Their prime moment in that demographic had passed them by. So they, but it was exacerbated by, the Trump support that people like Ramona Singer has shown, the racism directed towards Ebony K. Williams by not only the castmates but mainly the fandom of that franchise. They reboot with a very diverse cast, a very fresh cast, personalities who I think would truly be stars in a Bravo verse, to only have not vetted or have vetted and chosen to put someone on the show that literally donated 4 times to the Trump Stop the Steal efforts. And allegedly.
But she came out and said that she doesn't support the Stop the Steal and whatever.
When you have the president of the United States of America being named as Joseph Robinette Biden, okay?
Robinette?
Joseph Robinette Biden. In early November, right? Like November the 7th, and then she donated 4 times after that. How is that not Stop the Steal? Whatever that could be. And that's what they're saying. Whatever it is disgusting. The big problem that I have across the board is that people are being given platforms on reality TV who do not deserve platforms. And once you've given them that platform, you can't take it away. You've amplified their voice, and you have put them in front of people to do far greater harm than they would have done had they not been platformed. And that is what Bravo
Trump
did
supporters
to
don't
Aaron
deserve
Lickey.
platforms?
In 2023, Trump supporters are not at a point where I want to see them being given a greater platform. A prime example of the damage that can be done when you platform the wrong person is what we saw happen this week in Utah, where a man unfortunately lost his life because of death threats that he made against President Biden, against Vice President Harris, against Attorney General Alvin Bragg on the Truth Social Network. He was a 75-year-old man, I forget his name, in Utah. The Salt Lake City FBI division went to investigate. He came at them with drawn weapons.
He was white?
Yes, and 75 years old, and he unfortunately lost his life.
They shot him.
They killed. I didn't read the details. I just ate lunch and kept moving.
He was trying to kill. You said it was a terrorist.
It was a situation of domestic terrorism with a planned assassination plot against several people, and those people included President Biden, Vice President Harris, and New York Attorney General Alvin Braggs.
Oh, so he was upset about the indictments.
Yep.
Mm.
But
Well, you know-
again, the platform of people, when you talk about Trump supporters, they've amplified this level of rhetoric, anxiety, hatred, and fear and division among the American people. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be careful who you platform and who you give a platform to. And that is a responsibility of the platform. That's a responsibility of Bravo. That's why you vet the Housewives. That's why you ensure that the people that you're putting out there are people that you want to amplify for whatever reason. And maybe they did. Maybe they wanted to amplify Aaron for a diverse voice.
Because she's a New York Republican.
Yeah.
Possibly. Allegedly.
It seems to be that she's a lot of things from what I've seen thus far on the show.
Well, she seems to be okay. She's not a good party host. So have you watched it? You haven't watched it?
I have watched it.
Oh, how do you feel about it?
Disappointingly so, right? Like, had I known that Aaron Licky was a 4-time donator to the Trump Legal Fund, I would have never watched the show. But I have watched all 3 episodes.
Really?
Yep, and I've enjoyed all 3 episodes.
Do you watch Miami, Real Housewives of Miami?
Never seen an episode in my life.
Okay, so you have to watch it.
I'm not paying Peacocks.
It's going to come on Bravo, the latest
okay.
season. Okay, you're going to watch it anyways.
I don't have any money for Peacocks.
Yes, you do.
I don't have money for
one of the girls, Lisa Hochstein, who I adore, is a Trump supporter, I think. I think she's MAGA.
I'm definitely not going to watch it.
And she follows Trump. And then I think Martell Holt is...
Yeah, I think Martell is too. I saw your discussion of that, and it was disappointing. I was disappointed to find that to be the case. And it makes me look even more sideways at Sheree, one of my least favorite housewives of all time.
She liked the dick.
Maybe. I think it's probably multiple things. Sheree...
MAGA supporters got the D, honey. Okay?
That I thoroughly don't agree with.
Just use them for the sex and, get some, get whatever you can out of it.
The D for diabolical, the D for desperation, the D for...
delusional.
And dumb. So maybe.
Damn.
The D for damn.
Okay, so we have
the D
the Trump...
for done.
Yo!
The D for defeated.
Well, hopefully Donald Trump is defeated, but he's leading in all the polls.
That's fine. He's not. He's
what
not
if
leading
he wins again?
Number one, let's talk about polls. Is that number one, how many polls have you participated in your life?
One?
One, maybe. Okay. That's more than most black people. Okay. More than most black people, and certainly more than most members of the Gen Z community. So the polls typically date what they consider to be likely voters, and they don't count young people or black people most of the time in those polls. So what you're getting is a sampling of white Americans aged 25 and up in the polls. And that doesn't reflect America, and it doesn't reflect voter turnout. So I don't give a lot of credibility to polls. But the polls that I have seen show President Biden leading him across the country.
Really?
Across the country.
Okay, because the girls were like, they're neck and neck.
Trump leads his Republican contenders. All you have to do is just look at the research. We have never had so many diverse people put on the United States
cabinet positions,
judiciary. We have more diversity on the
judges.
Courts. We have more diversity, correct, in his cabinet. But we also have more financial opportunity and incentives being given by the federal government to black-owned and minority-owned and women-owned businesses. We've also never had a president give as much attention and thought to uplifting the LGBTQIA plus community at a time when that community is under assault by the Republican Party and conservatives in the evangelical movement, not Christian, but evangelical movement, more so than any other time in American history.
But why don't people like him? I see all up under the comments,
because
under the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, Hollywood Unlocked.
Listen what you're saying.
But those are the black people on social media. Listen, and I know social media isn't everything, but a lot of them say that they want Trump back because he's funny and he gave them stimulus checks. And then a lot of them just don't like Joe Biden. They feel like he's falling asleep and he's falling off bikes and he's falling off, people are laughing at him.
And
then they don't like Kamala Harris. They feel like Kamala Harris. Now, listen, I don't agree with any of this stuff.
But this is a
they
beautiful
say, where's Kamala Harris?
To break something down to a
much
bigger audience than I'm probably going to ever have in 2023. You name these websites. And and as a human being, I am a fan of Hollywood Unlocked and Jason Lee as a personality and as a human. I'm a fan of Kyle Anthony as a personality and as a human being. But some of the nasty work that they do to circumvent the progress of American politics to be swayed by whatever money is funneled into those websites really concerns me. The focus too often by all news media outlets, but a particular focus with our Black news media outlets, is on virality, clicks and views, and keeping the conversation going, oftentimes skewed in a negative way. Because negative clickbait titles lead to way more engagement than the positive news and the positive press. And they know that. They know that conservative media has turned Vice President Harris into a polarizing figure, which she should have never been. And they play on that for their own purpose and gains. Instead of talking about and educating their audience, the Black audience, the urban audience, on the realities of what's being done on their behalf by this administration, they want to mislead. And I think that's really heartbreaking.
Legs and hips and body. Come on, girls. All right, so this activist, he's getting some topics for us because now we're about to talk about some pop culture. Okay, Lizzo. I talked about Lizzo. More accusers are coming out. They are trying to cancel her. It's because she's Black, and it's because she's body positivity, and because she's a big girl.
And that's sad, right? Like, that is sad. Here's some reality.
And I feel like this, I don't want to invalidate the victims, but I feel like people already hated Lizzo and what she stood for. So this gives people permission to hate her out loud.
You don't. I think it's good because you're getting some content. I haven't talked about this topic. So
on TikTok?
Nope. I have purposely avoided it because I firmly believe that you have to give time to get the facts together. A lot of people jump out and they set themselves up for libel, slander, and lawsuits. So I wanted to wait until more facts came out before really giving an opinion. And I want to say this. I don't have much doubt that Lizzo's working conditions would be deemed toxic by some. But I also have to say that I don't know if they would be deemed toxic by most in the actual industry. That's the difference. I don't have a doubt that Lizzo created a sexually charged environment for her dancers by the standards that most would consider sexually charged. But I don't know if anyone will make those exact same accusations against a male entertainer or a male hip-hop artist or a male Black pop artist. I don't think they would do that.
Because of what's going on behind the scenes that,
right,
we
have rats like Iggy Azalea crawling out of the woodworks and has-beens like Mario falling from the sky to defend Tory Lanez as he has attempted to possibly irreparably damage Megan Thee Stallion's body, let alone career. But we don't have that same level of support coming out for Lizzo. That concerns me. It concerns me that people aren't willing to stand up for her. Because again, I have no doubt. You got to look at it like this too, right?
I already hated her.
Many of these performers, unfortunately, this is their gift. They had a talent to dance that unfortunately would have never been seen because of how they present to the world. And that's not fair. It's sad. Many of these women were not dancers who've experienced the industry before. They've never had to work with the Beyonce Knowles Carter. They never had to work with the Lorianne Gibson. They had never had to deal with the level of scrutiny and the level of work expected. And being a professional dancer on a grueling national tour takes a toll. And it also comes with high demands. And I don't have a doubt that Lizzo has high expectations that probably only got higher as her career constantly elevated because of her hard work and her work ethic. So I think that what we see in the toxic work environment is what Lizzo expected from her dancers because that's what the industry demands. We know that the industry demands so much more of a Black woman than anybody else. Imagine what it was like for a fat Black woman like Lizzo.
But you think it's okay for her to bring them girls to the strip club? And then be like,
allegedly,
go touch them. Allegedly. She brought them girls to the strip club.
Allegedly, there were bananas and whatnot. I don't know if that's the case because let me tell you, as I have listened to the public interviews, right? Not the TMZ story, not the neighborhood talk story, but the actual spoken interviews of the three
They went on
victims
TMZ.
who came out first.
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard the banana story repeated. I haven't. And every time they're asked questions by a journalist, they deflect very well, especially the main girl who cries and whose makeup runs. She deflects so well. And the journalists let her off the hook every time. They are asking her a very specific question, and she never gives a very specific answer, and they let her off the hook. I would never do that. I would never let
What's
that happen.
interesting is there's a reality TV show. Watch out for the big girls on Amazon. Have you seen it?
I have not. I won't be watching that. I just don't have time in my life for it. But I have heard of it.
Well, she was looking for backup dancers. I think 2 of the girls who was on the show, they actually
the
ended up
main
dancing.
plaintiff in the case was one of the girls.
Exactly. So they shot a season 2, but during, I think one of the instances that is named in the lawsuit is the part of the show where they had to do a new photo shoot. Like, imagine America's Next Top Model. Like, each week we're doing a crazy photo shoot. And of course, the producer's job is to kind of like make you feel uncomfortable because it's ratings, right? So they had to do a new photo shoot, and she was visibly upset. Like, she did not want to do it. So in the lawsuit, it goes, she made contestants do a new photo shoot and made us feel uncomfortable and this, that, and the third. But if you watch the show, she, she goes, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, and they go, we just feel uncomfortable and this, that, and the third. And by the end of the she made it seem like it was a safe space that you could tell her if you were uncomfortable. And then by the end of the scene, she goes, just do what feels comfortable to you. Listen to your own voice. And
as
to me,
you would expect Lizzo
to me,
to
that
do.
sounded like you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But they're making it seem like we felt pressured, we felt forced,
Right,
and
I felt pressured.
Right.
We felt. That's all. This is sad because what they're saying is not going to hold up anywhere. These feelings and it's not going to win in the court, but it's winning in the court of public opinion, and that's sad.
Yeah.
Lizzo doesn't deserve that. But I guess, pressure makes diamonds. And this is her real test of who she is as a woman and who she is as an entertainer. And I pray that she comes out on the other side of this more successful than ever before.
You mentioned Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez. He was sentenced to 10 years.
Megan Thee Stallion, an American hero.
You think she's an American hero?
A role model for girls all over the world.
You think she was really shot? No, I'm playing. Oh, you a fan? Y'all, he listens to all the teeny bopper TikTok music.
I'm a huge Meg. I'm a hottie. I'm a huge Meg. Meg is my number one artist, right behind Beyonce, Knowles Carter. I love Meg Thee Stallion.
Okay, top 3 female rappers.
Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion.
No, Meg Thee Stallion.
It depends on how you classify it,
of
right?
all time.
I'm a little bit different when it comes to that, right? My favorite female rapper is Meg Thee Stallion. Is she the best female rapper? Not yet, no. I mean, to be honest and fair, right? The best, most talented female rapper in terms of rap ability is Nicki Minaj. And I won't deny that. But I'm in no way a fan.
Not Doja Cat. Doja Cat is 3 on my number 3.
Not even an artist of reputable worth.
It's really
get out.
Get out.
No, you get out. She sat up here in 2015 and released a song mocking the killing of Sandra Bland called Didn't Do Nothing. She sat up here and sat in white racist chat rooms showing her feet being called slurs, allegedly. And you want to platform and give her some type of credibility?
People can evolve. People can change.
Doja Cat
canceled in this video.
Doja Cat is who she is, and who she is pretty awful.
Damn. How do we feel about Tory Lanez now? Some people feel like it's too much, it's too long. I'm 27. By the time 10 years comes around, I'll be 37. I'll be damn near 40. Like, is that a long time? For me, I feel like, you did the crime, do the time, and you need to be deported.
If someone shot you, you don't think they deserve at minimum 10 years for trying to take away your livelihood? And you could say it was just her foot, right? But here's the thing. Meg Thee Stallion is an artist, a dancer, an entertainer. You could have damaged her foot, her nerve endings to a point where her career could have been irrevocably harmed by what you did.
Mm-hmm.
That to me can't be taken lightly. We can't allow anybody to assault black women and get away with it. That's what it really means to protect Black women. We can't allow this devaluing of their bodies and their lives to constantly happen. And that's what Tory Lanez did. And that's what his defenders are still doing.
Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, so we did protecting Black women. We gonna do the things. What is that called? Like the time codes. We'll do the time codes.
What's the time code?
Protect Black women. Protect Marlo Hampton. Protect this Black woman.
Marlo Hampton called you when she went to South Africa as a friend of the show. Marlo Hampton told Sheree Whitfield to go run and play with those. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I will never be able to forgive Marlo Hampton for those words.
She was homophobic in that moment.
That's not just a moment. That's what lives in the heart of Marlo Hampton. That's what lives in her heart. And you can love her, and that's fine. She has fans, and I won't take away from the fact that she has done a much better job this season than she did last season of the show. And I won't take away from the fact that she has truly brought something of value to a really lackluster season 15. Or is it 16?
Your fave, season 15.
Yeah, even though she's brought something that was desperately needed to season 15, even though it's the worst.
Because it wasn't bringing nothing.
As of right now, it goes down as the worst season of Housewives in history.
One of.
The season where they were in the COVID season was bad. But the reunion saved it. That reunion was an epic reunion where the breasts were social distancing. And everybody, that season was saved by the reunion. So to be fair, they could save this season with an iconic reunion. I don't think they will, but they could.
They say it's good, child. But listen, you talking about Marlo Hampton being homophobic.
I'm being honest about Marlo Hampton being homophobic.
Why? But Kandi is out here outing people. You don't know what sort of situation is happening at home. You don't know what's happening with her family, the prophet. She's in the
Aaron is out here outing
prophet
people.
Community. Kandi Burruss Tucker is outing her friend. They're supposed to be in alliance. They're supposed to be friends. You are, employing this woman. She's on your movie. She was supposed to be in the movie. And you are out here outing. Why would you be outing her? Now, you kept Portia and Bolo's secret, but you don't want to keep Drew Sidora's secret. Some people will say that that's homophobic. I've been talking to people, and they feel like it's a homophobic storyline. And they say the Real Housewives of Atlanta always wants to turn these lesbian storylines into these exposés. So we're gonna talk about Marlo. We'll talk about Kandi.
Turnabout is fair play. Let it be known that I love some Kandi Burruss Tucker. Okay, she is truly to me the epitome of the city I love, Atlanta, Georgia. I have no qualms about that. So you can turn about, and that's fine. Be fair in what you're saying. What she's doing can't be considered homophobic.
Why?
Let me make my point. It could be considered biphobic, okay? Because we're talking about a bisexual woman, Drew Sidora.
She could
now,
be
if
gay.
you want to go down the road of me defending Kandi Burruss Tucker for not being biphobic and outing Drew, we need to go down the road of House of Aaron. And the Al G experience.
I did not out anyone.
Also doing the exact same thing, but doing it 20 times worse to Drew Sidora.
No.
When Al G experience said that Drew Sidora has always been indulging in
that was
a beautiful
after.
Sexual experience of intimacy with women, that she met her husband in a swingers club, and that she
that's different.
Fails to bathe her own children on a regular basis. All of that
and
allegedly.
You lived for it.
I loved every moment of that interview. It was excellent journalism. It was well done.
Thank you, honey.
It was excellent pop culture journalism. There has not been any better YouTuber out this year. No one has done a better job than what you did in that interview. Nobody.
Thank you. But Kandi is low-key outing her sis. But
Aaron, if people know that Drew Sidora has done these things, I don't think it's that she's outing her.
You're perpetuating a narrative that she doesn't want out there. That's the
that
part.
We know
You're
of.
perpetuating
That we know
and
of.
not only it might not be biphobic, it may not be homophobic, but it's certainly being a bad friend.
I don't think they're friends.
Yes, they are. They were.
I won't deny.
Maybe not today. They were friends. Because Drew Sidora, when it came to Marlo Hampton, remember the Gucci brunch? You saw how Kenya and Drew Sidora was windmilling for Kandi Burruss. And then when it was time for Kandi to defend her friend.
Aaron, I won't say you're wrong, but let me give a little bit of perspective, right? Here's a little bit of older fan perspective. To be fair, Drew Sidora has a future on the Housewives of Atlanta if she is smart. And to be honest with you, she reminds me in her second, this is her second or third. This to me is taking a little bit of time for her to get her momentum. Her third season is like Candace's second season of Potomac. It took Candace a moment to get her footing and to find her place among these older women. Drew is also struggling to find her place. I don't believe that Kandi and Drew have an authentic friendship. I do believe that Kandi is by nature someone who's easy to befriend because she's extremely likable. I also believe that you may sometimes feel as though Kandi is more your friend than what Kandi sees you as her friend, because in real life, Kandi has a lot of friends who she cares about, who she values, whereas I don't see that level of love in Drew Sidora's life, unfortunately. So it could be a misalignment among how they saw each other.
Even if you're not friends, though, y'all are cool. You're more cool with her than you are with Sheree and with the other girls.
How is the truth
you're going
detriment
to not tell
or
the
betrayal
truth
of
for
friendship?
your friend? That is a betrayal. If I do something low key, if we are cool, and then you are going around telling people or perpetuating this narrative that I don't want out there, like, girl, just shut up.
To a certain extent.
Just shut
but
up.
Aaron,
if my friend knew a secret about me, why is you
will be
perpetuating
the number
it?
one person, though, sitting right here on this podcast, angry at Kandi and Drew for not bringing the secret to the light. That's exactly what happened.
We don't really care. We didn't care.
Look at what happened to Robin
Latoya
Dixon.
Already said that they
Look
had
at what
kids.
happened to Robin Dixon and all that she was hiding with Juan.
So different. Nobody cared about this. Nobody cared about this, which actually makes it even more dumb.
Aaron, you are 100% right. No one cares and no one cared. But there was no other storyline that these producers had, so they had to make it work.
Damn.
They were desperate in season 15 for storyline. And that to me speaks to the biggest failure of this current franchise production.
So you think Eric Fuller is single-handedly destroying the black franchises?
No, that's not true. I don't think that. I think that
because Nene said the house is tumbling down, child.
Eric Fuller has done a phenomenal job on Potomac.
I just think he's cute. Bye.
I'm
just playing. Eric Fuller, I think he does a great job on Potomac. Atlanta
Eric Fuller is a very attractive
down to
man.
the ground.
He's an attractive man.
He's
cute. Not as attractive as you.
He's cute,
but he's attractive.
They say he had got fillers and like.
Even with filler and without filler, he still won't be as cute as you.
Right.
But here's the thing.
With his white man.
Oh, he has one?
White boyfriend, husband. Child, they get a little bit of money and then go.
That's what people like you in the colorist page
Don
says.
Lemon and Eric Fuller, and I'm surprised Carlos King not with a white man.
He's with an African. He may be with the one-eyed. He may be with the one-eyed African that used to be with Kenya.
Kamada is across the street, honey. Okay, she is across the street.
Listen.
At least Andy like him black. Damn.
Okay. Fuller is not ruining Potomac. He's done a great job with
Atlanta.
that franchise. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think he's done a great job with Potomac. I do think that he's biased towards the light skins,
Jizzy and Robin.
Right? But I definitely think that he's done a great job. That show is holding strong and is doing great.
I agree.
Atlanta, is it really? When I say production, I'm not pointing the finger at Kevin or Fuller. But I am Eric Fuller. But I am pointing the finger at the fact that, the whole networks, whoever, all of them may need to have done the work of saying, look, guys, this ain't it. Or we may need to shelve it, push it back, alter it, do something different. They knew halfway through the year that this was boring. They knew halfway through the year that there were some issues that should have been addressed and it wasn't working. But they saw it through, and the consequence is the negativity that you have happening now. And when people talk about should there be a reboot, no. Atlanta's not New York. Those women were in their mid-60s. These women in Atlanta are in their 40s. They're not at a point
50.
to where they are not interesting. They're very interesting. I do believe that you have people like Kenya Moore who aren't showing up to work. I think that and who's also, I think, horribly misplaced in the cast now. Like, people are saying, Kandi should be on a chopping block. Kenya needs to take a year off. It's time for her to go.
Wow.
Her purpose on the show has run its course. I believe that Kenya Moore was brought on this show to be a foil and a villain and an antagonist for Lanithia Leaks. I believe when I reflect back on it, I think they brought Kandi in to be a big personality for because by season 2, they started to realize Nene was getting to be a big personality, and they needed balance. You bring in Kandi, didn't balance out. You bring in Phaedra in season 3, still not balancing out. You didn't get a real battle to Nene until you got Kenya, a personality that could match hers. But now that Nene's gone, Kenya's really not had much of a point since not having a Nene or not having a Phaedra. She tried to have a battle with Kandi, it just doesn't work.
Who did?
Kenya and Kandi had beef at one point.
A long time ago.
A long time, but it just doesn't play well. It's not playing well. And so now Kenya's kind of pointless on the show. She has no point. She needs to take some time off and see if there's any validity to her continuing. The production, the show has to do the job of looking at these women's lives and determining who is of interest and who isn't of interest. Drew Sidora may still be of interest.
Okay, so
for another
Drew,
season.
Get rid
For
of
another
Kenya.
season. Kenya's time has come and gone. It's time for her to go.
What about Kandi?
Kandi is always of interest. But what they failed to do this season, probably because they didn't want to put the investment in, is bring back the people that make Kandi most interesting. We need Mama Joyce on the show.
Do we need Don Juan?
We do. We need all those
you think
people.
Don Juan is cute?
I think Don Juan is an attractive man. I do.
They were saying he got a wife now.
I think Don Juan is a heterosexual.
I don't think he has a wife.
I think Don Juan's a
Wait,
heterosexual.
he's a what?
I
You think he's
Don
heterosexual?
Juan says he's heterosexual.
He does?
I think he is. I think he has a wife. I do. I've heard that too.
I thought that was a rumor. I thought they was playing.
I don't
think he has a wife.
I've never heard Don Juan say he didn't.
But we really ain't heard either way. But I did hear that he.
I have not heard.
Okay, we'll cut. I don't want to.
Allegedly.
Okay, so we need Don Juan back onto the show.
We need Kandi's whole entire sphere.
Jamie.
I want to see Carmen. I want to see Don Juan. I want to see Mama Joyce. I want to see the aunties. That was the pinnacle of Kandi's interest on the show and that's where she thrives. That's her element. I want to see all that brought back.
Okay, so keep Kandi, keep Drew, Sonia Richards-Ross
Has to go.
What?
And you're delusional. You're delusional. You are the most delusional person in the Housewives world for standing Sonia Richards-Ross. I have never, let me say this, I want to be very clear. I do research beyond the show. Sonia Richards-Ross is a good woman. She's a nice person. She's a good person. But in no way do I want to see her continue on anybody's TV. She is the worst second season housewife in the history of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The worst. And that Sonia Richards-Ross is an amazing human being who's accomplished a lot. I think she's a good wife and good mother. I think there should be a place for her on some type of show if that's what she wants, but it's not Real Housewives of Atlanta. Of every single second season housewife in the history of this franchise, she is my absolute least favorite. I hate to say it. She is probably my least favorite housewife of all time next to Kim Zolciak.
Kim Fields.
Let's talk about that. I'm glad you said it. Kim Fields was I'm going to say something that no one's probably ever said, right? Because I don't get to talk about this stuff often.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Fields represented a turning point, what should have been a turning point in the whole entire franchise, and an opportunity that they missed to save the franchise. Let me explain. By the time that Kim Fields came along, the Real Housewives of Atlanta was extremely inauthentic, disingenuous, and manufactured.
Because of Kenya.
That was a part of
and
it.
her delusional villain ways.
And the production that they were getting from, I think Carlos may have still been the producer.
Oh.
It was a lot of manufactured drama that you could see. It was also a time when other reality shows were infringing on the Housewives audience, right?
Basketball Wives.
That's right. That level of
hip-hop.
So they were doing that kind of stuff on the show. Kim Fields comes on, a reputable Hollywood name, and you know what she was? A real housewife. She cared about her.
Not really, but she worked.
All she cared about was her husband and her baby, right? She was trying to balance motherhood with infants. It was hard for her. You could see it. She was probably dealing with some emotional stress and trauma. All of that was on display. That is the life of a real housewife. They could have taken that.
And they was being homophobic back then, calling that man Chrissy.
But they could have done something with it and amplified it and let Kim continue on that journey. And you could have gone from where you have two different camps. Instead of having these made up team Marlo, Sheree versus team Kenya, Kandi, you could have literally had manufactured, inauthentic housewives who weren't housewives and these real people who are housewives and how that all intersects. Because there was so much drama about Kim bringing her kids and Kim not being able to work. She was working because she was a housewife. They missed that opportunity.
I did like him.
And you can't kind of go back to it.
I did like him because I thought people were like, she's boring, she doesn't want to participate. But I'm like, it's different. I like seeing something different.
That's right. And that's what
Sonya
we desperately
is
need.
different.
No, she's not. She's Cynthia Bailey 2.0, but negative 2.0.
Negative.
She brings the exact same
she
level.
Has the events.
She
has
does
the
exactly
husband,
what Cynthia Bailey did, but
she's
it's of no interest. It's no.
She's
it's no value.
well spoken. She's beautiful.
Aaron, you're the only person on the internet
saying
saying what you're saying about Sonya. We don't like her and we don't want her on the show.
Well, good. Y'all need to get some people on there that you don't like. Because
but she's not unlike. Let y'all
tell it. Let y'all tell it. You know, we would have a whole bunch of Candys and her minions onto the show.
No one would want that.
Y'all want Latoya's on there. Who Manietta.
No one wants Manietta.
All of Kenya.
Manietta is the worst friend of the show in the history of friends on the show.
Why?
And because everything about her has no value and point on the show. Like, what did she bring? Nothing. And then at the reunion, she wore those pants. She wore those pants.
Those pants were so. I live for a good oversized moment. Yes.
I guess, Aaron. I don't see it, but
okay. So
maybe it's a generational divide.
Get rid of Sonya.
Yeah, Sonya has to go.
Get rid of Kenya.
Kenya needs to go.
Keep Kandi.
Keep Kandi. Keep Drew.
Keep Drew. Keep
no
Marlo.
Sheree. You can keep Marlo.
No Sheree.
No Sheree.
Why?
There's no value in her storyline.
Martell, she's kind of like the anchor, the mother of the group, trying to get
manufactured storylines.
Okay, but what about her role as the mother?
It's manufactured storylines. I want it to be more authentic. I don't think that she has a real story to share. That's why Sheree she's in and out of the show because she has to go out and find a storyline, bring that storyline to the show. Sheree needs to go. I say keep Marlo because there's a lot that isn't being explored that needs to be explored. Marlo is ripe for character growth, character development, and transformation as a human because of the platform. And I want to see that for her. I do. I want to see Marlo transform. I want to see Marlo be the very best that she can possibly be. And she's an Aquarius, and they are known for rising to the occasion and constantly evolving. I just haven't seen it.
From Marlo.
I haven't seen it on the show.
Damn.
But I think it's coming. I think she is growing. I can't say I don't. Let me be fair. Yes, she's growing.
We need Portia back.
It would be ideal to have Portia back.
This would be my
suggestion. It would be ideal to have
Get
Portia
rid of
back.
Manietta. We do not need
Manietta's not on the show.
Get rid of her as a friend.
Yeah, I agree.
We do not. Why do I keep calling her Kenya? Kandi doesn't need no minions. I feel like she's already a puppeteer.
She needs a crew to be
She
Kandi.
don't need nothing. You already get the spinoffs. You went behind their back and, you know, hired your own production company. Portia, Jeannie Mai, Fallon, sprinkle in Fallon, sprinkle in Nene. And the ratings would be crazy.
I think you do need Jeannie Mai. Is that how you know the name? I think it would be, again, Portia's always good for TV. I do believe and would love to see Phaedra return to a real show.
She's never coming back.
I'm just saying, if Nene can come back, Portia can come back. I would love to see her. I mean, Phaedra can come back. I want to say this because no one is saying it, and it needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney Rhodes should have had a much bigger role on this season, and she was deserving of a peach. And I didn't believe that at first because I saw it like, who is she and why? What a waste. But I've been watching towards the end of the season, and I'm seeing what her role should have been as the foil and as that. She was meant to be the Kenya of season 15 that Kenya was in season 5, right? That was what she was probably brought on to do. Now, she's not a gutter snipe in the way that Kenya was a gutter snipe in season 15. And she wasn't going to be oh so nasty and oh so rude, because Courtney's a very classy woman in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But you see flashes of great wit and excellent dialogue with women to really get to the heart of issues that you didn't get to see on the show as clearly. I do believe that Courtney should get a peach in season 16. And I think they really should explore this really fascinating woman who has built a very profitable brand. We don't see the social media influencer and the brand strategist that is very prominent in the creator economy on reality TV. And that was what Courtney Rose brings to the table. And Bravo missed an opportunity.
She can be the next Marlo, a bona fide friend of. You don't have a husband.
Her
you
life
don't have small
is so
kids.
intriguing.
Is it?
And people don't know it.
I
They haven't
love
done their
Courtney,
due diligence and their
but-
research. Courtney is a lot more than just being Ralph's cousin. And the show failed her. And they failed the viewers by not giving us the true Courtney Rose experience. And I'm disappointed by that.
Okay. Let's talk about this fake lawsuit.
Well, you told me it was a charge letter. It wasn't even a lawsuit.
Right. I don't even have nothing to say about it. It's a letter, not a lawsuit. And Bethany Frankel got somebody to, draft it up for free, probably. She's cheap. I do not like Bethany Frankel. And
I don't
what
like
I
her
just
either.
found out is
I don't like Bethany either.
in the letter, she claims Bravo made reality TV stars drink. Way back in the day, Aviva Drescher, who is cousins with Fran Drescher, was on the show. I think she had like one leg. She had like a prosthetic and she threw that leg.
Oh yeah. She
came out.
Iconic moment on the show.
Iconic moment. She came out and said that Bravo made her take a shot of tequila. Then Bethany went onto Twitter and said, girl, I've been doing this for 13 years. I'm the most experienced housewives and I know everything that goes on set. You are crazy to say that they made you drink. So now in 2023, she's getting up here talking about the cast members were made to drink. And it's like, you fake ass. She's fake.
And she's a liar. Allegedly.
Pathological.
Allegedly. And she'll do anything for her own personal
She's manic.
benefit. I agree. I don't know about manic, but I think that she definitely is a selfish person and self-centered in her actions. And I'm very disappointed in her as a Scorpio.
Damn. Did you see that interview she did with Jill?
I did not. I don't have time for them.
Damn. It was so.
I don't have
it was
time
a
for
mess.
either one of those two. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
All right, Zach. Thank you for coming on.
Aaron, this has been a pleasure. I thoroughly love every episode of your show. I don't miss one. Every day I wake up,
I love
I'm
every
in my car.
episode of your TikTok.
I watch every single one that you do, and it never disappoints. You either give me 5 great minutes, sometimes you give me 20 amazing minutes, but it's always a great experience, and I thank you for it.
Well, I thank you for your services as well. Bye, you guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day. Bye.